Hello and welcome. It is the 12th day of the completion of the 12th day of March 2020. The scaling of this is wrong. Let me fix that right now. And the declines were big. And that wasn't done intentional. I just pushed record and I had to play around with the screen. So that's why I started off that way. But all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Looking at the Dow. Precious metals. We'll look next at Bitcoin. The bear ETF and the strategy in which I'm doing, and then alert can come off at any time because I have no choice but to really day trade this, and really fantasy sports and sports in general, because over the last many weeks and months I have been basically concentrating a lot of my time and effort into such. That's a lot of reason. One of the main reasons why there hasn't been as many videos on the channel, because that has been where it's at. Hockey and baseball is profitable games, but suspensions of the season has been in play for practically every league, including those ones. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Dow Jones closing at 21,200, losing many percentile points. And we look at this on the monthly chart. The price action has now taken us back down to levels that we have not seen, going back to the midway part of 2017, so close to 3-year lows, after it was just less than a month ago that the market was making, or about a month ago, I should be saying, a month ago it was making all-time highs. The volatility of the markets, and of course the obvious fundamental events that have come into play that have just destroyed or at least hammered a lot of these markets to the downside. On the single minute term time frame for the Dow, this is what the intraday looked like. It gapped lower. Started to go down for most of the day, and then just after the United States lunch, I shouldn't say United States, New York City lunchtime, Chicago lunchtime area, we'll say Chicago lunch, 1 o'clock here. A big rally. This thing goes from like 21.36 handle, so we'll say 213, up to 227, so a differential of well over 5%, but obviously it all fails, and we can see how this area of the hold just doesn't do it, and resisting it later, and then ending the days, of course, at lows not seen in about 3 years. This is gold on the daily chart. If we just scroll back to see what happened with gold back in 2008, back in the day, and back in the day was, of course, during that financial crisis. Well, obviously we can see that gold had some down moves when stock markets did as well. It got up to this high of 1,000 back then, piercing above 1,000, and then piercing below 700, but really hitting a low at 700 even, we'll say. And then that's and the big fall, of course, October. That's when the markets were falling, and then of course we know it recovered there after that. Silver, it's at levels not seen since, well, last year. Last year around June, July, so we're now at the area of about 9-month or 3/4 year lows. And percentile move that we're losing, well, we went from about 19 down to now below 16. That's a loss of about 3 points. That's almost 20%. That's kind of tame in percentile terms when you consider all the volatility. That's at least how I'm putting it through. To me, silver and gold is the one that's guaranteed, best I could say, quote unquote. I mean, how else could I say it? Your own risk reward, but comparing that with cryptos and fiat currency, that alert was bear. I'll get to what that means in a second. What that means right now is short term, the Bitcoin is going up. But well, let's go to Bitcoin right now and take a look at it, because that's next on the agenda. And yeah, it's been down a lot this day. Down, well, it's now closed for the day because it's 8:02 p.m. Eastern time, which means it's a new day. 38.9% down, close to 40% down, or $3,000 down. Probably the largest decline in Bitcoin dollar terms. Percentage-wise, 39%. I could always take a look at some records, but it's going to be up there. And then, of course, the big fundamental news. Well, this is either it's going to survive or it's not. It's had a break down below this 18 lows, and again, the sideways support, as mentioned, this low, and breaking this low, we still got this point. Technically, I mean, what's stopping Bitcoin from possibly going to like down in here, making a higher low, and then bouncing back higher? And I'm not saying that I'm predicting that to happen. I'm just saying that's one of the good scenarios, especially given this panic scenario that the market is going through. And as we can see on the 1 minute term here, this thing has just had a wicked fall. And Well, basically, what I stated in my previous video is the whole bear thing. You've seen my alert come off, and it's just got to go to ports to do it and find it. It's in at 55, and basically, this is I think it's just an obvious play as a hedge against my crypto balance, in the sense of, why don't I just buy some of this, which is what I did earlier, put sell orders up top here and there, and then I'll buy it back. So the 55 meant I hit a buy order when it hit down to this 55 low. If we can see it hit 54.90, my buy order was 50. So I'll place the sell order back at about, what's this number here? It's 64, so 63, because that's where I last sold. I sold at 63, at 62, at 61, 60, and 59. So therefore, I had a buy order at 55, 54, 53, 52. And I'm just going to keep playing it that way. Let the market do what it does. Just place my orders, play the game. When I go to bed at night, I'll decide how do I want to position my orders before to place, and then manage it, of course, waking up within the morning. And that is pretty much going to conclude the crypto side. I'm going to move on to fantasy sports now, as it's an interesting day for me on the fact that, well, I mean, it's affecting a lot of people what's going on. But for me, myself, especially those who've been following me on this channel, I've been basically going through a lot of change in that just being fantasy, I've been kicking ass in the game. That's another way of putting it. And that in hockey and baseball. Baseball just started with the preseason. I just started like last weekend, and I've been dominating really well. I've been doing really well in the early stages of it. And I know it's a winning game, but of course, I'm thinking a few days ago I was going to make a video saying, I mean, I'm going to be really busy here, because I'm looking at the baseball work that's going to be done, and the hockey, and how the playoffs is going to create even more work, and oh my goodness, baseball is going to be a lot of work. And now, of course, I'm going to be not doing any for a while, as this unfortunate event is taking place. Now, the one event going on this weekend that is still playing through is the Players' Championship in golf, which has attendance, or had attendance, in the Thursday's day one session. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're going to continue with no attendance, or no one on the sidelines, if you will. And within the games that have been played over several weeks, what has been the case has been playing satellites, as they call it, playing 10 and 25 cent bets. If you dominate, that you win a $20 ticket. I play several a day, like 10, 12 in miscellaneous sports. And I ended up winning 6, valued at $120, and nowhere near I spent near $120 to get them. Maybe near $15, $20. $20, 25 tops. It's $2.50 per hockey lineup. Maybe $40, $50 tops. Still much good, very, very good value. So 6 lineups, and in 5 of them, I'm going big with Rory McIlroy, and one of them not, and that one's kicking ass for me right now. And I might as well hold and go for a better sell order. But I just sold some again. I just bought some. I've sold some. I'm going to let my orders fill through and just manage it in a few minutes. But this is what a DraftKings screen looks like in here, and this is the start that I'm off to. My username is AG47. That represents that of silver, and I'm in 65th place. How it works is you have 130,000 teams. I got 6. 27,500 get paid. I'm currently winning $600 for the 65th prize, and first place is $1 million, and no one's got the exact same lineup as me in this combination. All these other ones are getting their ass kicked, 69,000 all the way down to 100,000 with 130,000 participants. And you pick 6 golfers within the prize pool, and you get points for how they're doing. And right now, I took Daniel Berger, and this is what percent are drafted, -4 in 7th place. Harris English tied for 2nd. Hideki, I'm not going to pronounce his last name. He's in 1st. Scotty Scheffler, 7th place. And then Webb Simpson in 7th. They all went early, so this was exciting. Now, Adam Scott got off to a bad start as a +2. And then he got to -1, back to even, and finished -2. So I got the opportunity here for some serious wins. And back to this chart. So we give me something to cheer for, though. And although it's going to be tough to watch golf, it really Really is. And now I got to wonder about how these industries are going to go through, because this is a business in DraftKings that, let's see how they handle this. I made a withdrawal today, and I'm sure a lot of other people would have as well. I kept the lowest amount back that it possibly could, moving forward to when I feel that the NHL and the Major League Baseball will resume action. They're not, of course, going to be getting any revenues for the next little while, but they're a big company. How long can they move on with this? But every business is being affected with this one way or another, in multiple ways, more than anything else, which is just going to bring a lot of interesting situations as far as the current movement. I myself made a decent Amazon order, and I mean, I should have. Going back to Bitcoin, I should have made an interesting. I should have bought. Well, I was looking at the Bitcoin chart last night. We can see this Bitcoin here breaking down the 1 minute. Just on the short term, you can see established a support, failed breakout, holds, failed breakout. This time it's not. We can see short term how it was just feeling diddling down with the one. So I guess I said the video that was the end of the short term analysis, whatever. But the whole changes as far as how everything is going to play out is going to be very, very interesting. So I've already got a decent amount of food as it is anyway, so I just bought a bunch more of really snack items and protein bars and things like that, more than anything, and just wait to go through, because I'm gonna pretty much quarantine myself the next little while, especially because unfortunately I'm more immune with a weaker system as far as catching things. So it's just best for me just to stay in, and it's just done the way it is, and that's pretty much as it has been for me more times than not. But it does change every day's daily lives on how things are going to play through. Once this is one of the timed events that we know come June, July, August, it should easily be behind us. But what kind of damage as far as the world economy and the human life situations, as far as people's well-being, and if they even are alive, on the individuals that get hit within this. Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz and his teammate, I'm trying to think of his name, another one of his teammates also has the coronavirus, Donovan Mitchell. And Tom Hanks, a legendary actor, has been diagnosed, and I only guess in the last few hours maybe there has been others. I was kind of hoping that we were not going to get what we haven't got, like a landslide of these people saying, yep, this person's got it, that person's got it. Because I'm guessing every MLB, NHL, and NBA player has already been tested at this point for it. I'd only can think, like, why you think every team would have set up so that every single player, trainer, coach, anyone involved in that mechanism of the team has already been tested, even if they haven't been at a high likelihood, like the Toronto Raptors organization in basketball, quarantined in the sense that, they were playing against the Utah Jazz recently, so there's a lot of physical, sweaty contact for a full basketball game that was going on. All right, then. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.